So, what is the next step in the structural workflow after having imported the Revit model, the architectural model into the structural application? The next step here is model referencing. Why do we need model referencing? Because the two models, the one which is created by the structural engineer and by the architect, although they have similarities, they are quite different. If I merge the two together, you will see that the green one is done by the structural engineer. He has sliced up that column into two pieces as it is calculated by the stress analysis and as it is built. And the reinforcement is also cut. And he's only interested in the core, the load-bearing core, the reinforced concrete or steel core of the elements. He's not interested in the different finishes and the veneers and these things. That is one thing. And the second thing is that all disciplines have their own responsibilities. The structural engineer is responsible that the roof won't crack. The architect is responsible that there is no precipitation forming on the walls, for example, the heat insulation and these things. And these responsibilities must stay crystal clear and separated. Of course, the axis of the columns must match all the time, otherwise it will cost you a lot of beers on the building site to fix that. So, let's go back and let's reference the model. So I go back again to Revit. Here we are. And we have separated a small part of the building here in order to be able to create a model. We'll switch to that. Yes. As you see, this is the entrance of the building. And here, the structural engineer has divided these columns into three pieces and have modeled them and made the calculation that these are the appropriate for the architectural calculation. So now, what we will do, I have exported these as an IFC file for ArchiCAD, and we will open this, we will merge this into ArchiCAD. So we will go to the structural floor plan, as you will see it there. And there, Mark will merge these into ArchiCAD. But in an intelligent way, what we will do now is merge, ask for the appropriate translator. Of course, we select the file. And then, not the general, but the Revit Structures translators. As you see, the translator were both ways, back and forth. And then open. And now, within a few seconds, you will see that if we did it correctly, I hope yes, we didn't miss anything, then a dialog will come up and we'll ask a few things. Here, as you see, it asks that do you want to merge everything what was exported or only I would say only the columns because those were changed by the engineer. So I will say okay, and then it comes into ArchiCAD. And now he will switch to the 3D view to have a look at those columns. And he will have a wireframe of the entrance. But where are the columns? They are not missing. They are there on separate layers with a separate extension, so you can immediately see that what is coming from the engineering application. And if you switch on those layers will be shaded. So here you have the three columns coming from the engineer, and you can see exactly it matches the center line of the architectural column, but of course the veneer is not considered. And if he pulls the cursor on top of them, you will see that it gives the information that it's coming from Revit Structure, and it even tells you that it's 300 by 300 millimeters, and it tells that what is the S columns from Revit Structure, the name of it. And this applies to any application, structural application, of course, with those which we have a link. And what is now the next step in that the structural engineer makes some changes. He makes some changes in the application, and what he will do, again, is that, for example, he would like to send the changes. This is the so-called model coordination. Why is it called model coordination? It is model coordination because we coordinate two versions of the changes, the previous one with the later one. And it should be in an intelligent way. We don't want to merge in all the complete model all the time, but we can compare the changes and only merge those elements which are really changed. So let's go back again to Revit. There it is, and here I will make some changes in this entrance. So for example, I select this beam here and delete it. Yeah, this one as well. This one and this one as well. And now I will select this one and I will change the point, the starting point. I will drag it here. There it is. And now furthermore I will put some new element. So I will go to brace mode and then 3D snapping. You see? How I master Revit after 20 years of GRAPHISOFT. So, and then put an additional one here. So these are the changed and the deleted elements. Again, we have exported this file into ArchiCAD, and now Mark will compare it with the previous one, and let's see how the track changes works in ArchiCAD. So we go to the 3D view of the entrance. And now I will ask to detect the changes. And there you see two dialogs coming up. You can browse for the previous file, 01, open, and for the second one, which is 02. There it is. And when he clicks next, of course now all elements, we want to see all changes. And it writes out that as I've showed you, two new elements. There are two new elements, one modified, which was that central brace, and 4 deleted, which were the 2 columns and the 2 beams. Now let's see how does it look in reality. So now for a few seconds, ArchiCAD starts a little bit thinking. We'll switch on and off layers here, because it compares in the 3D all the elements and all the changes that have been done. And now it will merge in only the changed elements, which will appear in the markup. And how can I go there? Let's say it's not the small entrance, but if I had a huge, let's say a supermarket which has hundreds of columns. It's very easy, because if I want to select a new element, I just select in the markup, and then I go there. And automatically ArchiCAD will take me there. And even you can select it. And anytime, as you see, there are the ones. The 2 greens one is the modified element, showing me the previous and the new one. How can I differentiate? By pulling the cursor over, and the cursor tells you, you see that IFC imported old, and there is the new one. It will tell me IFC imported new. So these are this is the changed element. And of course, the same applies to the deleted ones, which are the red ones, and also the blue one, which is the brand new one, which had no any previous element. It's done completely new by the structural engineer. And of course, the architect can tell if he accepts the changes, not, deletes them or not, and all these things.